If only Hall & Oates had been in the UN.
Explain.
Oh, well, because then your kiss would be on my list. Your kiss, it's on my list.
Is Hong Kong your kiss in this analogy?
No, I just kisses. Kisses belong on lists.
Wow, this sounds like one of those nonsensical things that I would say.
Oh, no, because it's a very cultured reference to one of the greatest groups of all time.
The group that I, for a long time, thought was called Holland Oates, like they're Dutch oats.
Oh, not like they are hauling oats?
Oh, no, I thought it was Dutch oats, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I actually only learned the truth like about 2 years ago. Anyway, sorry.
Well, I'm sure somebody listening today has discovered this now for the first time.
That it's Hall and Oates, and because of the people's
yeah. It's like when you only hear it on the radio, like you don't know, and it's like nowadays, like one of the horrible things about the internet now is that you can get lyrics to any song.
Why is that a horrible thing?
Because back in the day, like. You'd listen to Nirvana or something. You have no idea what they're talking about. And everyone would have their own versions of what they thought the lyrics were.
It's really a post-truth, post-modernistic kind of way of looking at lyrics.
Right. And now, like, there's no more guesswork involved, which it's not as fun anymore. So you don't really, like, you don't have the misheard lyrics thing. Like, sweet dreams are made of cheese.
Nobody actually thought it was made of cheese, right?
Revved up like a douche. And then I wrote her in the night.
That one I could kind of see.
Yeah.
Because nobody knows what a deuce is. Related to cars, at least, anymore. So.
Or what about Jimi Hendrix? Excuse me while I kiss this guy.
I mean, I could see that, too. It was the 60s. Okay, let's not get
You're right. I should
copyright ding.
Oh, no. I didn't hit any of the copyrighted notes.
Just because you sang it badly doesn't mean it was an infringement of the original music.
Well, speaking of being incredibly loud, Matt, I thought there was a very interesting conversation before the podcast about your shirt as it pertains to the Queen, since we were going to kind of commemorate that a little bit.
Oh, well, Shelley was criticizing me for the shirt.
I didn't say that. I feel like...
you did not say I am criticizing you for your shirt, but...
What did you say, Shelley?
I said, oh, well, first, it was that Chris remarked on your shirt, and then I just said something about how I dressed more soberly since we were going to talk about the death of the Queen.
And I dressed in a fun way to celebrate the new king.
And I felt that was very character revealing between these two, so I wanted you to share in that. I think you now have a better understanding of who Matt and Shelley are as people.
That Matt likes King Charles?
No, it's just that my glass is half full.
I don't think it's half empty too. Okay, whatever.
My cup is half full of delicious Yorkshire gold tea. Black tea, the tea of the horrible barbarians. Yeah, it's
the tea of colonialism.
It's not as good as like real Chinese tea. I'm sorry, it's like you've ruined it.
All those tea plantations in India not good enough for you, Chris?
No, they like didn't get the right. Like Assam isn't real tea. It's not the real tea plant.
Wow, you're going to offend a lot of people.
It's not the same species. It's not the tea plant.
We should have another channel that's like Tea Undrunk.
Oh, that'd be such a tragic channel. Tea Undrunk.
Or what else could it be? Tea Unpicked?
Unappreciated.
I appreciate the tea.
Do you know what Hongkongers call Queen Elizabeth, which I really love? Boss lady.
Boss lady. Nice.
Like what you would call like a female like restaurant owner or like small business owner or something, like boss lady. Yeah.
I've just been so polluted by the Metal Gear Solid series. I hear boss lady and I think of that.
Oh,
because there was a character called Boss and Big Boss, and there was a character called Boss who was a lady.
Oh, there you go. Not that kind of boss. Not the Gamers Unbeaten kind of boss.
Nope. Hey, is that a soft launch for that show?
I think we've already...
Have we mentioned it? I don't think we've mentioned it.
Mentioned what, Chris?
Gamers Unbeaten, our wonderful brand new channel that many of you thought was a joke. It is not a joke. It's very real.
I think we mentioned it a couple of times on China Uncensored. It was a joke. We were going to start a gaming channel because the world was terrible.
Truth becomes fiction when truth is not real. I forget how that quote goes. Redream of Red Chambers. It's the first line. You can stop after that. It doesn't really get better.
Yes, I remember your debate with Anastasia Lin about Dream of the Red Chambers.
Oh, yeah, she loved that.
Yeah, it's her favorite book.
It's so popular with a lot of people in China. I can only assume it is just something is lost in translation.
Yeah, I read the translated one, and I had such a hard time following it.
I mean, it's like the best translation of it in English. It's basically divided into 5 very long books. And I kid you not, in one of those books, the only thing that happens is they start a poetry club.
I mean, that sounds like a big deal.
It's like this thick, that book. They start a poetry club, period. I just saved you a lot of time.
Yeah, I guess when my parents were telling me about Dream of the Red Chamber, they were like, oh, culturally, I don't think that Westerners would like it. Because the heroine, my parents thought basically that people in the West, because of their more open, optimistic nature, would like the other girl, the one that the other cousin, the one that the main guy ends up marrying accidentally, who is like kind of like a more cheerful person versus the actual like main character who's the Juliet of Romeo and Juliet. Yes, she's very sad all the time, and she's kind of like an invalid, and she's always writing like sad poetry.
But the reality is she is actually the reincarnation of a flower fairy that had a debt of tears to pay back to the main character, who's actually a magical stone.
Is it jade? Or just a stone?
I think he's a stone.
Okay,
but then there's a thing about jade because he's
there's like
born
a jade.
with jade.
Yeah, there's a jade thing that like shows his. You can look into it and see his path, something like that.
Something like that.
I've not read Dream of the Red Chambers.
Yeah. So what happens in another magical dimension that is still under Hong Kong national security law? This magic stone like is sitting in some kind of like fairyland, and like dew collects on the stone and drips onto this flower, and then the flower becomes sentient and is like, oh well, to thank you, I got to repay you with a debt of tears in the human world. So then they have to go through, they get reincarnated as humans and have this horrible life. Awesome.
Didn't the stone want to experience the human world or something? Is that part of it? I don't.
Which is just always a bad idea. Like, as a human, I can say this is like
to stay as a stone in a heavenly paradise.
Maybe like two stars out of 10. The human experience. There are some nice bits. Love, video games,
watching our podcast.
Oh,
that's got to be at least another.
Let me bump it up to 3.
Yeah, there we go.
We are making your lives better by educating you about China, which we have kind of gone off on a tangent about.